sunrise over Singapore's tranquil Chinese gardens, and the gates are open to receive the day's first visitor. Tan Sia Kui is not only Singapore's most accomplished calligrapher, but is also acknowledged and widely respected in the cradle of calligraphy itself, mainland China, where he began his life.
I was born in China, Canton Province, Swatao District. I'm a Teochew. In the homeland, I was about 6 years old. I came to Singapore. My mother is a farmer. My father is a ship captain around Indonesia's Laos Island and Singapore. I saw my father is in 1955, March 15, when I arrived in Singapore.
His father had left Canton 7 months before his son was born in 1948, so he was a total stranger to the young Sia Kui.
I'm not prepared to come to Singapore. I cry. I cry every day. Even I take the picture to do my visa. At the time my picture is still crying. I'm not prepared to come to Singapore. But my mother said, this is the way our father is waiting for us. That's why we must go together. So in one night, we go to Swatao, take the ship, come to Singapore. After medical checking, they sent me to Korea Key. From Korea Key, I walk across the road to Fulton Building. It's now Fulton Hotel. At the time, immigration office is there. And from there, start my Singapore's life.
Chinese educated at primary, secondary and university levels, Sia Kui's interest in calligraphy was first sparked in primary school.
I think at the time the Chinese school, they have a lot of so-called old scholars. They like calligraphy. They let themselves also practice calligraphy. They also encourage the students to learn calligraphy. But at the time, Singapore very hard to find a copybook, very hard to find brush, even ink. So very few people to learn calligraphy. Although there are many Chinese schools there. I remember my primary one teacher, they always choose the whole class, the top one, give them one pencil as a prize, a present to them, to encourage them to write beautiful character. At the time, one pencil is cost 5 cents. It's quite a big sum. So every 2 weeks, we'll try to earn the 5 cents, the pencil. The pencil, we can go back to change money with the mother will give 5 cents and give it to buy something. My parents, they learn themselves. Only up to primary 2 or primary 3 level, only can read a simple evening newspaper. Only can write a simple sentence or sign their name. So I can say my calligraphy education is mainly from the school. I go to Chongqing High School, study 6 years. I met my first and second calligraphy teacher in Chongqing High School. At the time, the school curriculum quite relaxed one. Normally after 1 p.m. I can practice the calligraphy in the calligraphy society until 6 or 7 p.m. Even Saturday or Sunday, the school still open the door for us to go in.
In 1968, when only 20 years old, Sia Kui founded the Singapore Chinese Calligraphy and Art Research Society, which was later to change its name to the Chinese Calligraphy Society of Singapore.
Then I went to university in 1969 and graduated in 1972. I also met my third calligraphy teacher, Professor Huang. As I said, the calligraphy must learn from some old scholar. They are so fortunate to me to meet this scholar.
His passion for calligraphy influenced his choice of profession, and so did financial factors.
In fact, I want to become a reporter. I did study mass comm. At the time, the teacher offered 650. The reporter only offered 465, executive officer. So I joined the teaching career in 1972 as a Chinese language teacher. Honestly, Chinese language also need a lot of this Chinese literature background. So also linked with my calligraphy learning.
The other advantage of a teaching career was that the school day was shorter then. and this provided him with time to further his studies and develop his personal style of calligraphy.
About the 4 years, I meet another friend, so-called my teacher, also my friend, Mr. Panso. He told me he was become the principal before in one primary school and one secondary school. He used Chinese saying, job is only finished a certain period. In Chinese say, 工作是一时的 means your work is certain period. But calligraphy is for life. 书法是一生的。所以工作是一时的，书法是一生的 means you go to work is just certain period. But you learn calligraphy is for whole life.
Chinese calligraphy, like other art forms, needs inspiration, and this is best found amongst quiet and tranquil surroundings.
有时候你发现一个人他写了很多个晚上或者很多个早上写不出一幅好字，有时忽然间他能够创造出几幅好字。所以很多人对书法家不了解，他有一个晚上一定可以写出很多幅字，其实不是。任何一种真正艺术的创造，都是要经过构思啊，然后再经过适量的选择这个题材，然后再有适当的工具跟纸张，才能够把它发挥出来。所以艺术家也好，书法家也好，他需要点灵感，而且灵感之外呢，当然他要有相当好的基础，基础配合灵感，就能够创造出好的作品来。那么书法它不可能受任何世外的事情所影响，因为它在这个整个书法发展过程中啊，这个中国这个民族也是经过很多战争动乱，经过天灾人祸，可是这个书法它的生命力很强，主要是书法它需用的东西不需要太多，它只要我们说的文房四宝笔墨纸砚，它随时可以写，而且因为你要用这个文字，你无可避免的就要喜欢上这个文字，它是你生活的一部分，它有实用的价值，当然它也有艺术的价值。所以因为这两个因素成年，书法未来还是一定发展得很好。一幅好的书法，它从它的构图，从它用的纸张，从它选择的内容，以及从它整幅字书写出来，都能够给人一种美的感觉。你可以从一笔一画、一个字、一行字，到通篇字来欣赏到这个字。可是一幅比较普通的字啊，你会给人家觉得它内容很庸俗的，笔画也是很粗糙或者很肥肿的，没有生命力的，没有飞动的感觉，没有给你一种觉得进入一种美的境界。所以你会发现，在路边写的字，人家说工匠的字，跟书法家写的字，它有很大的。还有一点应该补充的，就是说，书法家写的字是他整个内心世界的一种反应，所以他写字的时候，就像一个外科医生在解剖一个病人的身体这样，他是很专注的，他是所写出来的笔画是非常的这个准确的，很有生命力的，你看出来能够抒发作者的内心世界的一种感觉。普通的工匠的字，你看起来就是呆呆板板摆在那边，越看越觉得庸俗，越讨厌，就好像一个人涂了很多很多的胭脂粉这样，越涂越难看，越涂越俗气。
Like all art, calligraphy requires a strong foundation. A knowledge of literature, poetry, and music all contribute to perfection in calligraphy.
任何一种艺术品，它也是有点天分。我们必须承认，天才跟天分这个东西是存在的。一个好的艺术家、好的书法家，他的天分跟天才一定是比别人高的。他所创造出来的东西呢，一定跟别人不一样。 所以我们必须借助于这个种种书法基础跟天才以外的营养，就可以成为一个更好、更了不起的书法家。我这一生呢，其实我牺牲掉很多东西啊，包括我的语文的学习，跟其他爱好。原因是人的时间很有限，如果你这一生能够集中学好一样东西，那我觉得已经是了不起了。写字这个东西啊，没有写会觉得周身不舒服，好像一个工作没有去完成。但是写不出好的东西啊，你会觉得你的心理负担跟你精神好像非常的不自在，非常的这个好像机场。所以艺术的东西，人家说是苦闷的象征，到了这么一个境界，是大家都需要面对的。不过无论如何呢，一个人从年轻到现在中年，都把精力用在上面，我觉得这是一个很好的，走了一条很正确、很好的道路。而且在这个过程之中啊，也很庆幸碰到很多老前辈，他们提供给我很多的帮助，所以我还是会继续走下去。写字就是需要有笔、墨、纸、砚才可以写了，所以这个我们常说叫文房四宝啊。好像我们现在写两个字，我们写一个远方啊，只要有这4样东西呢，啊，就这样字就完成了啊。那我们写我们的名字啊，这样就是整个字的完成。
Siya Kui is in the office of Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, the Minister of State for National Development. He's giving a one-to-one calligraphy lesson to the minister, who has agreed to be guest of honor at the 20th National Huichun Chinese Calligraphy Competition. The commitment requires that the minister contributes a piece of work himself, and so a little expert instruction is advisable. Practice makes perfect, and Siya Kui is confident that Dr. Balakrishnan will be prepared for his weekend appearance at the Chinese Calligraphy Competition.
I'll work on that tomorrow.
Despite the early hour, the crowd at the Kallang Community Centre is growing and eventually will exceed 3,000. Of these, 1,300 are participants in the event, the 20th National Huichun Chinese Calligraphy Competition. If there was ever any doubt about the popularity that calligraphy currently enjoys, here at Kallang is the proof.
这天我们6点就能排一次，因为人借我们这个地方嘛，你是昨天来挂这个布条了。哪一点不行？黑白有黑白，笔触有笔触，距离也好。啊，为文学的。哎呀，
这样的老师才可以啦。
哎，你要祝他等一下表演的不错啊，不要去等他了，他会等他。Thank you. Good night.
We shall now call upon our guest of honor, Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan, to deliver his opening speech.
I'm very, very honored to be here. I'm not a Chinese. I'm invited to this competition. I admit I took advantage of the opportunity to ask Mr. Tan to teach me a little bit of calligraphy so that I can appreciate what you are doing. I've learned discipline, concentration, the search for perfection, excellence. And I think this is what all of you are embarked on, and this is something essential, especially for our children down here. 大家这样爱护、华住文化，真叫人感动。我恭祝大家新年快乐！ 万事如意，谢谢。
Now approaches the moment of truth for Siar Kui's star pupil, Dr. Balakrishnan. Under his tutor's watchful eye, he executes the first of his pieces flawlessly.
有很多人对现在高科技产生了两个疑忧，第一就是说，书法在电脑里面找到了，那么都不用写书法了；第二就是人们高科技才能迎得上时代。其实书法作为一个很古老的艺术，它的生命力是很强的，它并不会为了高科技而有什么伤损。其实一个人到了高科技时代，他生活更需要调剂，他更需要一门好的艺术来使到他生活得到平衡。另一方面呢，就是电脑的字呢，你初看起来觉得那个字就是一个书法艺术了，可是你仔细看多了就发现它是没有生命的，它是死的。所有的壁画都是一样重一样轻的，构图都是一样的，所以它肯定不能够取代书法作为一门艺术。这样的一种水平，所以我深信，不管21世纪，不管22世纪，书法呢肯定还是会继续发扬光大下去。The Chinese calligraphy recently is more popular. We can recall when the Chinese school closed only in 1980. The time they think calligraphy is a dying art. It's very hard to find any material, maybe rice paper, ink or tools or brush from the bookshop. But now, I think the Chinese community, after these 20 years, they think they lose a lot. Like their forefathers given them so good cultural heritage. So they must maintain it. They must know something behind this culture. Then the other reason, Chinese also now growing up. There are many people visit China, know more about China's development and China's situation. So I think this is the reason why the calligraphy recently is so popular and growing up so fast. So for the future, I think calligraphy have a very bright future and have a more population and more races to join to learn this traditional art. The beginning, of course, the calligraphy's population is very small. Later, when this art become the dying art, so I use about 23 years to promote and try to influence more people to learn this calligraphy and appreciate this. After about 1/4 century, you can see the dying art now become a very popular art in Singapore.
Primarily as a result of Siar Kui's personal fundraising efforts and with government financial assistance, the Singapore Calligraphy Centre in Waterloo Street was opened in 1995, a permanent home for the study, teaching and furtherance of the art of Chinese calligraphy.
一个普通的人，他要追求这个书法的最高境界，不是不可能的，不过总有一些局限性。不过如果你要成为一个所谓普通的书家，只要真正好好的努力啊，多吸收别的营养，多读书，多观赏大自然界的变化，多游山玩水，多参加一些或者多了解一些姐妹艺术的这个特色，他仍然还会慢慢在他的基础上被启发，形成自己的风格。不过历来所谓大书法家这一类的，跟其他所谓大音乐家、大什么画家一样，他都是比较高天分。不过如果我们要求不是很高的话，而又真心去下苦功的话，还是可以达到你所要做一个书家的这个目标。
There is a local camaraderie of calligraphers, and a gathering together of like-minded artists over a Chinese banquet is a regular occurrence. There are few deep discussions on such occasions, just friendship, with a shared passion for calligraphy as the tie that binds them.
叫高官问政啊。两次分给他们。
An ancient art has become a mainstream art due to the continuing efforts of Chinese calligraphers like Tan Sia-kui, an artist who honestly sees himself as only a small part of a long and ongoing tradition of excellence.
I want to follow my calligraphy tutor and other old calligrapher like Mr. Pan So's footsteps to pass my knowledge to the young generation and my students. That is the rule I want to take.